Well, hello there! Welcome to the first ever set review here on Hilgert's Brick Paradise. My name is Hilgert, and today I brought a little set from the brand Quan Guan or third party for you. A RSO or Raupenschlepper Ost transporter. This is their third version of this vehicle and also the smallest one yet. It comes with the vehicle of course and a small wooden crate. But before we take a closer look at the vehicle and its details, let's talk about some general information about the set. The set name is RSO01 from Quan Guan or third party. It has the set number 300003 from the year 2025. It comes with 339 pieces. I paid €10.31 for it when you buy it on UWOP, not sponsored here by the way. It comes with 0 minifigures, has 3 printed pieces and no stickers included, and it's in the scale of 1:35. It's one of their earlier sets from the 1:35 lineup, and I would say it's also one that's easier to build than others, since there are quite many bigger elements included in here. I would also say that the quality of these parts has improved to much earlier sets from Quan Guan. So I would give this set a medium difficulty, with the hardest thing to build being the front. With that now out of the way, let's take a closer look at this Raupenschlepper Ost. Let's go! Here we have the model, and I have quite a bit to say about this one. So let me just spin it around so you can see it from all sides. Also from the top, as well as from the bottom, so you can have a better picture here. Let's start with the functions here. You can open up the doors on both sides, and you are also able to open the back hatch here. And of course you also have working tracks here with this vehicle and rolling wheels. We have 3 printed parts included in the set. We have prints on both doors, on both sides, as well as one on the front for the license plate. Now let me start with the positives here. The tracks on this vehicle are actually really good and they roll quite nicely. It works out really good, and I have seen a lot worse tracks in the past, especially on older Quan Guan models. That's a good thing, as well as the print quality on the set. The printing quality here really is rather good too. And overall, optically, I like the look of the set. It's definitely not too bad and one of the better versions of this vehicle. It also fits quite well to the minifigure scale, so this is a huge win for the set, since the older versions of the RSO from Quan Guan were way too big for minifigures. So I think this set is something you can properly put into your World War II mocks or dioramas without problems with scaling. We also have the cargo area here on the back, and as you can see, it's completely tiled off, which is both positive and negative. Positive, because I think it looks way better than showing studs, but negative, because, and now let me just take the crate and put it here in the back, it's, as you can see, pretty loose here and moves around quite a lot. That's not a problem if you just want to put it into your diorama, because let's be honest, you won't move it around much anyways. But a mixture of tiling and a few studs would be nice, which you can obviously also add afterwards. But in general, the back isn't too bad. The tiles are a bit scratched though, so keep that in mind. I personally don't think it's a huge problem with military sets though. The build of this vehicle was quite fun in general. I think it's one of their easier sets to build from their 1:35 lineup, since there are a lot more bigger pieces included in here than with other sets. And we have less smaller pieces here. And the piece quality in this set is also quite alright. So no pieces that just fall apart. Not everything is good though, so let's talk a bit more about the negative factors of the set. Something that I would criticize, for example, is that we don't have a steering wheel included in the set. The older versions had some kind of steering included, but the difference to these is that those older versions were much bigger. So it's understandable that you can't include everything here in the small 1:35 scale. It would have been nice though. Another thing that bothers me is the hatch on the back. Sadly, you can't fully move it down. This is as far as it goes. The reasons for that is of course the trailer hitch that blocks it. You can see that it does get blocked here, which is also because of the smaller scale. Look-wise, I think it is a problem, but I don't know if you would actually be able to solve it in any other way in this scale though. Another thing that I don't completely like are the wheels here. To be honest, they are alright, but I would prefer a special molded piece here. Since in reality, the wheels did look different, but they aren't terrible either. You can do it worse too though. And now let's also have a talk about the front. Here we have the doors, and you can see that we have a small gap here. And that is definitely one of the biggest criticisms I have here. And it's also pretty hard to put a minifigure here in the front. The best way to put one in is while you build it. So you put the figure in and build the rest of the set around it. But that's of course still not the best solution. Another thing that happened while I built it is that the front here just completely broke down. Because I put too much pressure here on the top. So watch out while you build it, so you don't break it. Let me also remove the roof here real quickly, so you have a better view inside and see how the windscreen is built. You can see that the windscreen is connected with the wall in the middle, and I also like this building technique. It's quite lovely. And this is how the panels look in the front. You can see some scratches, as well as some big white spore points, which definitely look rather ugly and would be better in a different position. But it is what it is. Let's also take a look at the frame on the back. You can see that it's quite stable and holds up well, but of course you have to adjust it while building it. And that can take some handwork. The pieces are a bit smaller, so you have to watch out a bit while you build it. So in general, I would say that we have quite a lovely little vehicle here. We have some nice details here, as well as good building techniques. And from the looks alone, I like the set, and it does look like a Raupenschlepper Ost. Of course, there are some bad elements with the set. That's something I clearly have to say now. But you also have to keep in mind that this is a much smaller scale than the previous versions of it, that were a lot bigger. So you have much more room to put details into them. And for this scale, I am pretty happy with it. Even if we have a few things that could be better. For the scale and the price, I would say that this set is quite alright. I do have to say that it would be nice to have an anti-tank gun here included as well, since other 1-35 sets have those included with the set. And you will also see that a previous version of the set had one too. It would have been quite a nice addition, and a cloth piece around the frame would also be a nice addition for this set. So that's the vehicle. We aren't done though, so let me show you the wooden crate and the instructions next. The next thing that is included in the set is of course this nice wooden crate. And what's nice about it, we have this nice wooden texture on top of it. It reminds me of old Kobe tiles, also with this wooden texture. It's really nice, and you can of course also open it up. Inside you have some more wooden texture, and in general this box looks just really nice. The only negative point about this, I have to say, is this white wooden spruce point on the back. But you can of course hide it or turn it away, so it looks quite good in a diorama or mock. This really fits perfectly into a World War II diorama or mock. You can put shells in here or just put it in like a logistical center or in your battlefield. I think this piece is really nice. Can close it up again. And this is a good addition for the entire set, I would say. The next thing I want to show you is also the instructions. We have this paper here. And you have to unfold the paper so you can see all the steps. As you can see, that's quite a lot of paper. It's not very practical as well. Bigger and older sets actually had a bound instruction. So that's actually quite nice. This one is paper. That's with most of the 1-35 scale models. Except one I know right now. And let's take a look at some of the steps here now. As you can see, these steps are shown in color with some highlights of where to put the pieces. So that's like quite easy to follow. And the previous steps you can see are faded out. Like with the entire model, it's faded out. The current step is lit up with highlights. It's quite easy to follow. I like the instruction. It's definitely easy to follow, but the negative point of course is that you have this huge paper you have to fold out. If it's like a set with thousands of pieces, it would be a lot worse. You have like 300 pieces here, you can still follow it up nicely. It's of course nice to follow, but I would still prefer a bound paper instruction. This is just a little bit unpractical. And now, after we look at the instruction, let's compare it to some older versions of this vehicle. So, let's get to the comparison now. As I said before, we have 3 versions of this vehicle from Quan Guan now. The oldest one can be seen here on the left, as you can see. This one is a lot bigger than the other 2. This was at a time when Quan Guan was still copying Kobe sets like their tanks. This vehicle here was one of their own designs though. Nowadays they don't copy Kobe anymore, which is definitely the right way. They have their own designs these days, otherwise I wouldn't even show you these sets if they would be a complete copy of Kobe. So they improved quite a bit, which is a good thing. The left version here came with 3 minifigures. We have a lot of equipment in the back, and it also came with a lot of printed pieces. Let me give you a better view of these though. So here we have the first version of this set. This is the first interpretation of Quan Guan's Raupenschlepper Ost. As I said, this came out when they still copied Kobe, but this is still one of their own designs. This version you can see here is of course a lot bigger than the other 2 you saw. Especially if we compare it to the latest version. You can really see the size difference here. The left one isn't very good for minifigures, I would say, but we do have a lot of nice prints included in here. More than with the latest version. And we also have a lot of different equipment here. We have stuff like barrels, wheels, cans, or an engine here. With this one we also have a steering wheel. Let me open up the door and show it to you. Here's the steering wheel. And now let's take a look at the back, so you can get a proper look at the equipment. We have more printed pieces back here as well, and you aren't able to move the back hatch down with this one. It's only static. And another thing that's different to the latest version is that the back is full of studs. No tiles here, which looks worse than having it tiled off, but with all of the stuff in the back, it's not too bad. For the first model back then, this was rather alright, because it's the first version I ever had of this vehicle. But if you compare it to the other 2, I would also say that this one is the weakest. And also the one I like the least from the looks. We do have some positives here of course, like the prints or equipment, but overall it's too big for me. And the vehicle isn't round enough, and too square. I prefer the second version a lot more, so let's get to that one now. Here we have the second version of the RSO. This version is from 2023, it comes with the vehicle of course, some nice instructions and also 3 minifigures. Here we also have a lot of equipment, and this one even comes with an AT gun. We have a lot of very good prints here, more than with the latest one again. We have prints on the front for the license plate, the doors, the wheels on here are also printed, and you have a printed tile here in the back as well. Here you can actually move the hatch down, and you can see some of the equipment. For example, you can see another crate here. And one of the most important things that you probably already see is this cloth piece that we have here in the back that covers the frame. And here in the front we also have some kind of steering, which is good. There are many nice details with this one, and it's a very good improvement from the first one in like every way. I would even say that from all 3 versions, this one is my favorite look-wise. I just think that it looks really good. I love this version quite a lot, but this one is also too big for minifigures, I would say. So the scale here is also too big for my liking. It is smaller than the first version though, but as you can see, it's also bigger than the latest one still. I still think this is a great set and a wonderful version of the RSO. And I am a huge fan of this one. The AT gun is also alright, nothing too special, but you can see that it would be possible to include one of these in the latest one as well. And now let's quickly talk about the third and latest version again. You can see it next to the 2 previous versions again. I would say that the latest version is best suited for minifigures. Let me just quickly put a minifigure next to them so you can see the scale. Scale-wise, this one is the best for sure. We also have the smallest tracks here with this version. You can see that the other two have much wider tracks. Then there is no steering included in here, like with the other two versions. And equipment-wise, we don't have too much to offer with the latest RSO. We also have very few prints compared to the previous vehicles, which does make sense though. I have to say though, that from the look alone, this set does look really good still. But I would also say that the tan one here on the left still looks a lot better. The latest version is best fitted for a World War II minifigure scale diorama though. I can still recommend it, and I would also say it's worth buying. So these are the 3 RSO transporters that were available. You have to decide though which one of these your favorite is. Do you prefer them in a bigger scale, or do you want a more minifigure fitting scale for them? It's for you to decide which one of these would fit your needs the best. What I did realize is that there aren't too many RSOs on the market. Those are rather rare, especially compared to a Tiger or a Panther tank. But those are the 3 versions now, and the comparison. And now let's get to a quick little outro. So let's sum it up. As you can see, I put some German Quan Guan figures next to the vehicle in a little scenery, and I personally think that it's quite a good scale for that. And in general, I would say for around 10 euros, this set definitely isn't bad. We have nice prints, great tracks, a cool wooden crate, and generally a good looking vehicle. But could it be better? Of course. There are things that definitely bother me. The gaps in the doors, that you can't fully move the hatch down, that we don't have an AT gun or cloth piece included, like with other sets or versions, or that the steering wheel is missing. But for this small vehicle in the 1:35 scale, I'm still pretty happy. And as I mentioned before, I think the second version of the Raupenschlepper Ost from Quan Guan in tan is looking better overall. But this definitely looks a lot better when you place it next to minifigures. It's good for dioramas or mocks for sure. And I have to say, I also love logistical vehicles, so this is definitely something for me, and I'm quite a fan of it. But definitely let me know what you think about the set. Would you get it, or maybe one of the previous versions of it? And did you ever hear about Quan Guan before? Definitely let me know about this in the comment section down below. In the future, I would love to build some small World War II dioramas for all of these vehicles. That could be quite fun. And in general, I want to try and show you more sets from Quan Guan and other brands from now on. And if you enjoyed this little review video, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And make sure to leave some feedback in the comment section so I can make these videos better for you. If you want to see more brick related content now, then definitely check out this video next. That's the second part of me building a modern Japanese city, and in that part the city got along quite well. I can recommend it, so check it out next. And now I wish you a wonderful day. My name is Hilgert, and bye!